Hi there, this is Phil Simborg again with one of my podcast interviews, and I think you'll find this interesting because of who I'm interviewing, and also I'm going to be showing you some very interesting positions that just happened to come up yesterday in the Chicago chouette, and we're going to see how our interviewer does at this. What you see on the screen is a picture of Mislav Kovacic. Pronounce it for me, Mislav.
Yeah. Kovacic, Mislav Kovacic.
Kovacic.
Yeah, you were close enough.
I was close enough. Mislav is 29 years old, lives in Šibenik, Croatia.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And why am I interviewing such a young man? Well, first of all, he showed up on the Giants list this last time on the Giants at backgammon at ranked number 16, which was an amazing feat for somebody who wasn't on the list previously. And we know there were some things going on with the Giants list that a lot of people objected to. People like Ed O'Loughlin were left off, and a bunch of people that we don't know got pushed on. Maybe there was a little bit of playing games that they're looking into. But one thing that everybody agrees with is that this young man deserves to be on the list, because the Giants list is, while it's somewhat subjective, there is he has distinguished himself as a player, and there is the BMAB ranking, which is a ranking based on your actual performance measured by Extreme Gammon, and Mislav is in the top 25 in the world with a PR under 4 PR. So he clearly is a giant, belongs there, and I find it very interesting to talk to people around the world that I don't know, and that I think we would all find very interesting. So let's start with just a little bit about you. You're 29 years old. Are you are you married, working?
No, I'm not married. My mother has a language school in our city, and I work there. I don't teach. I do pretty much all other things like administrative tasks, answering emails, Facebook, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my job pretty much. I'm more or less flexible with my working hours, so I can spend a lot of time on backgammon, going to tournaments. So yeah, that's about it. And also, thank you for your nice words in the beginning. I do think BMAB is a much more objective measure of skill for sure than the Giant.
Yeah, for sure it is. That's why I was once ranked a Giant, and I'm nowhere near anywhere high on the BMAB list.
Well, I know some people vote for the contribution to the game. I think it's also a factor. So maybe
Yeah. Yeah,
not just the actual.
I'm very smart. I interview a lot of very sharp people and spend a lot of time with Mochi and Akiko and top players, and it rubs off a little bit on my reputation, and people are fooled in thinking I'm a good player too. But I actually I'm a pretty good teacher. But but when it comes to players, I'm just in awe of people like you at your age. I'm 72. I've been studying the game for 55 years, and I can't come close to your skill level. And that's something I want to talk about today, is how you got to be so good. How did you? How long have you been really playing under 4 PR, and how did you get there?
Well, under 4 PR, I've been playing under 4 PR for, I think, 4 years, maybe something like that. Well, I can start from the beginning. I like board games, card games in general, and backgammon was just one of the games that one day I decided to learn the rules. I saw it on the internet. It sounded interesting, and I mean, I never even imagined I would, take it seriously. I thought it was just yet another game that I would learn, and I mean, I instantly fell in love with the game, even while I didn't know much about it. There was something about it that attracted me to the game, and I started basically in 2008, and I bought 3 books: Magriel's Backgammon, Roberti's 501 Backgammon Problems, and Trice's Backgammon Bootcamp. So those were my first 3 books. And I also read some articles, and this was a solid foundation for me. But after reading all that, I was still playing something like 8, 9. I felt I knew many concepts, but I just couldn't make it, work in the actual game. So
Wait, let me interrupt you here. When you say actual game, were you playing on live or were there live
I was
games?
only basically playing online because our federation began in 2009, and when the first tournament was announced, that was when that was my motivation to actually try and improve my game even further. And the tournament was announced for October of 2009, and it was the beginning of 2009, and I was playing something like 8 or so. I don't even remember, but I know I was happy when I played single-digit PRs. I was analyzing my matches with the GNU Backgammon, and it was then that I started really taking it seriously because I wanted to play in that tournament. I wanted to become good, and what I did there now in retrospective, I can see that it was a form of deliberate learning deliberate practice that you often speak about, but I didn't really know it was that, what I did at the time. I mean, basically what I did, I would play the match, and I told to myself, I will not play another match before I deeply analyze this one. So after I finished the match, I would go through every move, not just the mistakes, so every single move. And I would spend like 20-30 minutes on the match. I would save the most important positions, blunders, into a special folder. And only then I would play the next match. And then the cycle would continue. And it was a little bit boring because, of course, the most interesting thing is playing. You know, we all like to play. So that was one thing that I did. And the other thing I did was every week I pretty much decided on the topic, let's say prime versus prime, back games, or every 2 weeks, and I would spend an entire week or entire 2 weeks finding all articles I could online about the specific topic, and I can really recommend to everyone to buy a Gammon Village subscription, Gammon Village magazine, because there are so many great articles there. And yeah, that's where I found most of them. My favorite authors are Roberti and Woolsey. I mean, they are able to explain pretty much everything in such a clear and easy to understand way that I'm really fascinated by the way they teach the game. Also read many of your articles on the Gammon Village, and yeah, that was about it. And then as I played.
Well, let me interject here. Gammon Village is a great resource. You'll also find a tremendous number of articles that are really excellent, archived on Backgammon Galore, bkgm.com.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't even. Of course, I read many articles there, but I think probably my favorite articles were maybe on Gammon Village.
Yeah, I think they're great too. And let's not forget if when you go to Gammon Village, you're going to read a lot of stuff from Jake Jacobs, which are very insightful and fun.
Yeah, he's one of my heroes. He has very interesting articles as well.
Yeah, Jake was one of my personal mentors and teachers as well. So you're pretty much self-taught. You read articles and books, and then you taught yourself.
And I also, analyze my games. I would see, I make too many errors in this type of position or in this type of position, and I will study it more. So it was just many hours of very structured practice. It wasn't just playing. It was really trying to improve. Doing my best to improve everything.
How did you do in that first tournament in 2009?
I didn't cash. I didn't win anything. Yeah.
Are there regular tournaments now in Croatia? Tell us a little about what's going on.
Yeah, there are about 4, 5, 6 tournaments per year, depending on each year. And tournaments in Croatia are mostly small stakes tournaments, just because we want to make them accessible to majority of players, and majority of players are beginners, intermediates.
Are you the best player in Croatia?
Yeah, I'm the only world-class player in Croatia. There are 6-7 experts. So when we won the European Team Championship, I think that was a sensation because we had like only 6-7 experts, one world-class player, and that was about it. I mean,
it was a big upset, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy.
You had some good dice.
Yeah, well, for sure. But
All
I
right,
think we
so
also played.
let's forget about backgammon for a second because
Okay, sure.
I think people are also curious about you. So
Uh-huh.
you work with your mother in a language
Yeah.
school. Are you
Yes.
fluent in many languages yourself?
Basically, I know English and Italian, but I mostly use English with my background friends from all over the world.
Uh
So
huh. And
but I do know
uh,
English and Italian,
and
but English.
what about outside of backgammon and your job? What other interests or games or sports or
Well,
what are
I'm
you into?
pretty much interested in any activity that makes my brain, work hard. So all kinds of games, board games, card games, and yeah. When it comes to sports,
Uh huh.
I like table tennis, but I
Oh
haven't really
yeah.
played it in a long time.
It's
But that's
amazing how many really top backgammon players are. Of course, we know Gus Hansen is a
oh really?
very
I
Gus is a
didn't. Oh,
tremendous
okay.
table tennis player, and I've actually played some backgammon with his coach who lives in Monte Carlo, Mike
Uh,
Svobodny, is addicted to
ah,
it.
okay.
Bob Wachtel and I played and played
Mhm.
some very close matches when we were
Oh,
playing
I didn't know
in
that there
Crete.
were so.
Sure, sure, it's a
Okay.
big game. Are you going to
And I
be?
forgot to say that I used to play chess before. I wasn't
Ah,
really that good of a player, but it was my first serious game.
I
So
see. Were you good in school? Were you a good student?
yeah, I was an extremely good student. Yeah,
And what did you
I was
major
the
in? What did you study?
economics and management. I studied that.
Uh-huh. And which makes it perfect for backgammon.
Yeah,
Is your goal to continue to play backgammon and make a living out of playing backgammon?
well, for sure it is. It will be my main hobby, and I will continue doing it, of course. And I've been pretty successful lately, so let's hope the good run continues. So yeah.
All right, let's look at a couple of pictures for just a second. What's this picture about?
This is when I won the tournament in Bol. Bol is a very nice place on the island of Brač. By the way, Croatia has over 1,000 islands, in case you didn't know.
Uh-huh.
And this tournament was held on the island of Brač, and I won it. This was last year. I also won it year before. And this tournament will again be held in September this year. So it's a really wonderful tournament, and one of the nicest beaches in the world is there. And
How do I get to Croatia? Where exactly is Croatia? Where do I fly into?
well, Croatia is a small country in southeastern Europe. So you fly to Europe basically, and I don't know. You can check the
So you're almost in Asia then. You're in southeastern Europe.
well. Not really, but yeah.
Okay. So
So yeah.
here you are playing a
Yeah,
Kiko.
here's a semi-final, yeah, of Super Jackpot in married to Dubrovnik, yeah,
Uh-huh.
against Kiko.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won, yeah.
Did you outplay her?
Yeah, I did.
Very good. Kiko's number three giant
but
in the world.
but to her defense, I should say that she was extremely unlucky, and I wouldn't do much better with her, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Well, she's a
I-
real lady. She's a real lady
Yeah.
when she wins or loses, and she
Yeah, for sure.
deserves to be a top giant as you
Oh,
do
for
for your
sure,
good
for sure.
sportsmanship. Is this really a 51-point match you're playing
Yes,
with Mochi?
this is a 51-point match. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm also organizing tournaments. I'm not doing it this year, but last year I had a tournament very near my hometown, and Mochi was there. And we decided to do a fun little event. Basically, a Croatian team, me, Willy, Dado, Nino, and Kiki, my teammates, decided to play a 51-point match against Mochi. And the way it was done, each of us played 8 games. So I started off with 8 games, and then the next player 8 games, and then the next player. And so basically we played, everyone played equal amount of games, and Mochi of course played all games by himself. So the match lasted 52 games. So and it was played throughout 3 days. So Mochi not only participated in the Open, in the Jackpot, in a quiz, he also had to play this insanely long match, and he managed to play 2.8 all by himself, 52 games.
Wow. What did you guys play? What was your
We
PR?
played 4.5, so
Not
I thought
bad.
that was
Not
really
bad. Did Mochi win the match?
Yes, Mochi won the match, and we were doing quite well up to some point. We were leading, I think, 36-32. We were leading, so if it was 35-point match, we would have won it. But then, the luck turned and around, and he started crashing us. And overall, XG did show positive luck for us, so he actually won with minus
skill.
luck.
This is just another example of why I will tell anybody who asks why Mochi deserves the #1 ranking as giant, not only because of his skill, but all these exhibitions and things that he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, this was a small stakes tournament in Croatia, and definitely, I'm not sure that all top players would even consider going to such tournament. And he was there, and I mean, that was great for community here. Everyone really enjoyed it.
Yes, everywhere he
goes.
goes.
Experience that they will remember it for the rest of their lives.
So tell me about this picture. I see Michi with the cup and Petko and
Raj. Yeah, this was the famous Denmark against the world event where I was very honored to be part of this year. And yeah, of course, probably all these guys. I don't know if you know Carlo Melzi from Italy and Thomas Stelland. Yeah, you know him, I guess.
I know them by name, but I didn't know which is which.
Carlo Melzi is the left one from Italy.
And the red shirt, yeah.
Yeah, in the red shirt, and
he's the one that's cheating and using XG mobile for the move.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, we did lose to Danes, but they are really, really tough. So
well, it's quite an honor for you to be on this world team. That's quite a group of people right there.
Yeah. It was a great experience hanging out and practicing and playing. It was really, really great.
Are you planning on going to Monte Carlo in a couple of weeks?
I did make my booking, but I'm not yet 100% sure because I have a few things to sort out. But I really hope I will be there.
Okay, I'm getting there on the 26th, and part of the reason I'm going early is I'm doing some private lessons and coaching, and then I doing a boot camp with Mochi on the 31st on the evening. But one of the things I plan to be doing, especially in the mornings and before the tournament, is I've got some ping pong lined up. So you and I'm going to play you you got about 40 years on me, and I'm going to bet you $10 I could beat you at ping pong. We're going to find out.
I haven't practiced in a long, long time. But
all right, then we'll make it $20.
Okay, it's deal. Okay.
Well, I look forward to it. To that. Yeah. Any advice that you would give? Let's not. I don't want to talk about beginners, but let's say we got a player that really. I've got several students right now. I don't know if you're aware. I'm one of the partners of the Backgammon Learning Center. We've got 20 teachers, and we've got close to probably 100 students around the world right now. And most of them would love to be as good as you someday. How would you recommend they get there?
I mean, I think hard work is the most important part. Maybe I'm a little bit more talented than the average person. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But I think the hard work is what puts you above the others. And so, talking about how to reach, let's say you are 7 or 8 and you want to reach like 5, 4, stuff like that. I mean, I guess what I did helped me. I don't know, but everyone has their own methods. I mean, analyzing, as I said, I don't play too many matches. I play a match and then I spend at least 20-30 minutes or more, depending how long the match was, analyzing, saving the positions that I got wrong. And I guess teachers are useful to pinpoint some of the biggest errors in your game, and I pretty much did it all by myself. I had to find the weaknesses in my own game and fix it. So.
All right. Well, let me add. I've only known 2 other players that I'm sure there's others, but only that I've known personally that have become as good or as you or better. Become a top giant all on their own. Stick and Matt Kongeyer in recent years will tell pretty much the same story you told about how they got good. They read articles and they practiced against whatever the bot was at the time. Most of them are using GNU and Extreme Gammon, and they did it on their own. But most people, but everyone that I've ever interviewed who's a top player will say the same thing, that they had to put in a lot of time and work. Falafel didn't just get there by accident, or neither did
Yeah, I
Mochi
mean,
Amici.
I do believe talent is overrated. I think hard work is the most important part,
Yeah,
and of course talent helps. For sure, some people maybe have different limits, but hard work can get you really a long way.
Yeah, but I think you have to have an incredible amount of talent and intellectual skill to do it on your own the way you did it, because I can look at a position for half an hour and maybe not come up with the real reason behind, unless I do a lot of variations and a lot of work, and I've been teaching for 20 years, so I need help, and lots of people do need help. For you to be able to look at your mistakes and remember and correct them, you don't correct them all by memory. You have to figure out why it was wrong, and that takes a level of intellect that I think most people don't have, or it's a special skill and talent. That's where the talent, I think, comes in a lot.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. And I basically had nobody to play with. I mean, I was the only guy in my city who I knew that played the game. So,
so are you getting to travel? Are you traveling a lot now? Are you getting to go to a lot of tournaments?
I've been last 2 years actually. I've been traveling a lot, and I've been from April 2016 to April 2017. I've been to 12 tournaments, and most of them were international tournaments.
Do you see backgammon? Do you see backgammon growing a lot in Europe and Croatia? Do you see it on the upswing, or is it pretty much level?
I don't see that much of a growth, because we need younger people, and that's really hard to get, and I really like the program that you're doing, collegiate program, and trying to, help younger people, trying to motivate them to play the game.
Yeah, that's a program, by the way. Mochi and I started International Collegiate Championships, and we got some generous donations for prizes, but I must tell you, I'm not happy. I'm not getting enough new kids signing up, and I'm not getting the federations. I'll say they would work on it, but they're really not pushing and going into the colleges and bringing in kids. I know they're out there. I know there's lots of younger people out there who play for fun, and we're not really reaching them. So we really have to do a lot more work there to market. This picture is with one of my very close friends and favorite people, Tobias Hellwig from Germany, and Tobias is one of our teachers and a great teacher and a great player. Was this a big match you had with him?
It wasn't a big match. It was just, I think, first round of jackpot in Zagreb. Zagreb is the capital of Croatia, and Tobias beat me. I'm not sure who played better. I think we were around equal, something like 4 or something. I don't know. I don't know, but he's a really nice guy, and he really is able to explain we discussed some positions, and he can really explain with great clarity. I really like him.
He's brilliant. He and I have given some lectures together, and we've done some teaching together, and whenever I sit down with him, I always learn something from him, as far as he picks apart a position and gets into the analysis as well as anybody I know. He's just terrific. So you're rubbing shoulders with the right people. Anything else you care to add about your philosophy of life or general approach to life, or anything else outside of backgammon that might be of interest, or something that people wouldn't know about you that might be interesting?
Well, I can maybe connect with backgammon. Backgammon, I think, has helped me with certain the way I look at life, I think, because I'm a perfectionist in life, and I always try to, be the best in everything I do. And the backgammon has taught me that, the bad dice will happen both in life and in backgammon, and you simply have to, learn to accept it, and all it matters is how you react to them, how you to do your best every time, no matter what.
You just rewrote an article that I wrote 25 years ago about why we're teaching kids backgammon. They learned how to deal with good and bad luck, and we also, to add to what you just said, yes, good and bad luck happens, but if you prepare properly, the bad luck's not going to hurt you as much.
How you react to it, exactly.
Very, very good. I'm really curious. I'm going to show you a position, and I'm really curious to hear your analytical approach to this position.
If I manage to get it right.
I don't care whether you get it right or not. I'm more interested in your approach. how do you decide? Let's take this as a cube action problem, and I've seen and I've talked to most of the top players in the world, and there are really two or three different ways to analyze a position. I want to see what you've come up with here. This is, let's say it's a money game, and you're red on roll. I want you to tell me what you think about cube action here, as far as red and blue, and do it out loud.
I mean, it looks like a fairly clear double to me, because I mean, any escaping number pretty much, I mean, I don't know if it loses the market. Let's say we roll 5-3, 6-2. Yeah, that definitely loses the market, because I don't think he can take with 3 checkers back. You know, that's holding game with 1 checker back more is usually not that good. So I mean, pretty much any escaping number here loses the market. So 5-3, 6-2, or higher numbers that run in the outfield, or even if we roll something like 4-1, 5-1, and he doesn't hit us again, we are, I don't know, yeah, I think we lose the market still. So I mean, there are just too many markets, I think, losing sequences here that we simply have to turn the cube.
So do you think blue should take or pass? If you
yeah, blue should take, yeah. I mean, there is enough counterplay left. We are not guaranteed to escape. Even if we do escape, he can maybe get a shot, whether they're direct or indirect, and he, of course, has some equity from his holding game, so for sure he can take here, I think.
Okay,
I would take.
so your approach to this, you didn't do something that John O'Hagan might do, for example. He's one of my mentors and teachers as well. John might tear this apart and look at the percentage of wins and gammons and do a gammon adjusted take point.
Oh, I know his. I mean, I read some of his posts, but I'm not even close to doing something like that over the board. You know, I'm trying to apply his O'Hagan's law for doubling, whether to double or not, and this is already not that easy to apply in every position, and the way and the things he does over the board and the math he does, that's, you know, that's crazy and very, very impressive, of course.
Okay, so
but I'm not that kind of player.
Okay, that's part of what I wanted to learn. So before I show you whether you're right or wrong, let me ask you, how do you evaluate this at different scores? For example, at 2 away, and 4 away, is this a double, and is it a take at those 2 scores? How do you adjust for match play?
Well, at 2 away, our take point is 32%, and whether do we have? I'm not sure blue has 32% here. I mean, I'm not good enough to know how much blue has here, but I don't know. It looks below 30%. I mean.
So you think it's a pass at 2 away?
I think it's.
What about 4 away?
4 away. It looks like I don't know. I would maybe take it 4 away. I'm not sure. I mean, but yeah, the gammon price is higher. Yeah, it looks tough at 4 away. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, so let me show you how you did. Let me show you how you did, and we can talk about this just a little bit, and then I want to get into some more.
It looks close at 4 away. I'm okay with passing too, but maybe a small take.
All right, well, you're right on. You were exactly right. It is. Here's the evaluation for money. It's a small double for money. As you can see, it's a bare pass at 2 away, because you're right. You need 32.23%, and you only have 30%. So you know your take points, and you were able to adjust. And at 4 away, it's going to be a small pass because the gammon price is too high.
Okay, I wasn't sure about
it. At 1.0, well, you were right not to be sure because it's pretty close. It's not a big mistake. Kit Woolsey taught me years ago, he's one of my teachers, that even a small mental error on a cube could look like a blunder, but it's not really. If you make a 0.08 error on a cube, it's not as big an error as you think.
As in the checker, yeah, I read that somewhere,
yeah. And I believe it. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with it, yeah.
So your analysis is right on. Your approach then basically is you're using your knowledge of how these positions play out and the features of the position to come up with guesses about whether it's a double or not, and you're adjusting
Yeah.
for match play. As you can see, it's not a huge pass, but it's a clear pass.
Because of the
Forward.
gammas, of course, yeah.
All right.
Higher gamma price, yeah.
One of the reasons that I decided to interview you, aside from your impressive credentials and how well you've been doing recently, I put lots of positions on my Facebook page, and you've been coming up with detailed answers that it's not only that they're right, and by the way, anybody can come up with the right answer online because they might cheat and put it in XG first, and I know some players that are never ever wrong online. But what impressed me was your explanations of what's going on in those positions were just terrific. So I need your help. I had a chouette.
Okay.
We
I would like to point out that I usually try to post only those positions which I'm like near or 100% sure that I know and that I can explain. I mean, I'm not really good enough to know all of the positions that you post. So the ones that
there's no point in you're trying to educate people about a position where you're not sure yourself.
Yeah, of course.
It makes sense. So in Chicago, we play a lot of chouette, and I've been playing an average of 3 or 4 days a week for 40 years. I probably the most prolific chouette player in the world. I wish I could say I've been the biggest winner, but I don't come close to some of the people we know. But yesterday we had 4 or 5 positions that came up that we made bets on and had big problems with, and I think they would be interesting to see how you would evaluate them. So let's take a look at these, and this will be educational for the people as well as for me. Of course, I already know the answers, but I'd like to see what you would do if you were playing for money. This is, again, a cube position for money. Reds on roll. What's the cube action here?
Okay, so pip count is 6 pips, right? Yeah, 6 pips difference. Okay. So, well, I often start with whether it's a take or pass, and I think it's a super easy take for sure. I don't know, definitely a big take.
So basically, you're starting with Woolsey's law by asking yourself what you would do if you were the
exactly, because if I wasn't sure whether if it was a take or pass, then according to Woolsey's law, you should double. But here I'm pretty sure this is a take, so I'm a little bit less sure about the double. So now we have to see how often we lose the market. And I'm thinking right now whether the 5s lose the market. So if we roll the 5, does it lose the market every time? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's it could be a market loser, but then again, I'm not sure. So if we roll a 5 and he enters with like 1-5, 1-6, that doesn't lose the market actually. It doesn't always lose the market. So, sometimes we lose the market when we hit. Like, of course, if he dances or if he.
How many times will you hit here?
Well, we hit here 15.
Right.
Yeah, 15 times.
Right.
And it's hard. Now I have to. I'll probably spend a lot of time here, over the board trying to do the O'Hagan's law.
No, if you can't spend a lot of time, or else we kick you right out of the chouette. So you got to decide.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably would wait, but
okay. Let's do it. You're right.
Sure. I don't think we lose the market that often. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This is not a double, but in our chouette, we gang double the guy in the box, and he dropped like a rock. And that tells you something else about our level of play in the chouette. And of course, I don't name names when people are wrong. I'll name names when people are right. But
well, I was like 100% sure it's a take, so for me, then automatically double is in question.
Yeah, well, the player playing blue looked at this and said, "Wow, I got a big stack on my 8-point. I got 3 check. I got a stack. I got an ugly game." And he didn't even think it was a take, and that's another good.
And we can also use the raise position threat here. I mean, raise, we only have a tiny lead. Of course, we do have a better position, and the threats are really not that huge. I mean, so it can never be a pass. I mean, we are not leading in all 3 segments by a large margin. So
it's a big no double, but again. I like this little number down here in XG that
I thought
says...
it was. I thought it was closer. I would maybe say like 50 or 60. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do lose the market when we hit. Not every 5 loses the market, but in some variations we do lose it. So,
well, part of O'Hagan's law is anti-market losers as well. And by the way, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I just posted.
Yeah, I saw very nice lecture. I saw it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, if you don't hit, black has plenty of counterplay. Like if you enter on the 24 point and don't hit, there's a game going. We are not that comfortable anymore.
And not only that, when you have a high anchor, you don't get gammon too much. Gammons are almost equal.
That's true. Yeah.
But I also like two things that we did. I want to talk about process a little bit more than if you get it right or not. You start with O'Hagan's. You start with Woolsey's law, which is what we preach, and I think almost all top players do. There's no point in worrying about whether you have a double or not if you know the guy's not taking or you're not sure. So start with Woolsey's law. Is the other player going to take? And then you looked at market losers, which is O'Hagan's law, which is exactly the approach that we think is best. And you're doing all those same things, but you learn this on your own. Like I know you read this in books too. I know it's in those books that you read about market losers, but you came up with the process on your own. I'm very impressed. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 2.
Okay.
This is a checker play, double 4 checker play, which I'm very proud to say I got right, but I was several people argued with me on this one, and I got a bet on this one. Cube's in the center, red to play double 4.
Okay, I still see the same position from before. I still see the...
All right, we probably have a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, I still see the...
All right, you should have it soon. Maybe you have to refresh your screen.
Nope, still see the same position.
Okay. Give it a little time here. One of our internets is slow. That's what it amounts to. How is your internet there in Croatia? Is it pretty good?
I mean, it's average, nothing special. It's not really super fast. So.
You have a super fast computer or a very good computer?
Not really. I mean, a little bit above average, I guess. Oh, I see it now. It's okay.
Okay.
It's 35 pips. It's a bit blurry picture. Okay. 35 pips, and we have a 4-4 to play. Wow. Okay, this one is a little bit tougher. 4-4 to play. So, do we hit 2 or do we come out and hit? So, the part that I'm sure about is we have to play 8-4, I guess, with 2 checkers. So, we have to make the 4 point. And now, do we go 22-18 or do we go 7-3? Well, yeah, that helps. If you... Wow. Can you
the nice thing about backgammon is you can move the checkers and move them back and look at it.
Yeah, can you hit 2? I really need to see it. Can you hit 2? Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So now, and can you now make the bar? Yeah, it really helps to. I mean, wow. Well, this definitely improves the connectivity of our position and.
Well, you nailed it. It's one of these 2 plays, and these are the 2 we argued about.
Well, I mean, what else can we play here? But yeah, I mean, there's a saying 2 on the bar is best by far, but I'm not sure if that's true here also, because this definitely has some benefits. It improves the connectivity of our position, and we really don't have timing to play 1-3 back games. So this definitely, I mean. I kind of like both moves, so yeah, I really don't know.
Well, then here's what I recommend. I did this against Mochi in a recent match.
I heard that. I heard that story.
You heard that story? Well, maybe everybody else didn't. I have a little top that I spin that says yes or no, and I tried to spin it, and Mochi wouldn't let me. He felt I was more likely to make a mistake by having to decide than flipping a coin. So it's okay not to be sure. You think one of those 2 plays is right?
I would maybe play 22-18, but I mean, I don't know.
All right. Well, you're not perfect because in this case I didn't set it back right. In this case, you're wrong, and I did hit 2. I thought about it a long time.
Okay.
And,
so 2 on the bar is best by far. Okay.
Several other very good players would have made your play, and hitting 2 is Two on the bar is best by far.
Yeah, it seems so.
There's
But
just not a lot of rolls that can hurt you, and you got plenty of time afterwards. And but look, you can
oh
see
wow, it's that's a small difference.
it's not
Okay.
that big a difference. It's not that
I
big a difference.
I guess it's a good thing that I like both modes.
That's right.
So, yeah.
In fact, it's right to be unsure
I mean-
when the difference is less than
Yeah.
3%.
Did you like roll out or something?
I did a rollout, and the rollout works out to about 4%.
I mean, but it's a very tough one because when you are only like what 12, 15 pips after the after you hit two, you basically are left with the 1-3 back game, and you really don't have time to keep those anchors there. But of course, he is on the bar, and you have time to get them moving. So I guess
Well,
that's
let's not forget you might win with the cube here, and you might not have to get a move.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you get to cube very often. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, you can see it goes even bigger when you roll it out. Now, if the cube is turned, it would be pretty obvious what you do here because of gammons.
Yeah, if the cube was turned, then I would double hit then. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
then just because the gammons got to go way up.
Activated. Yeah, I would definitely double hit. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play with the Jacoby rule in Croatia?
You mean in money games or?
Yes, in money games, you use Jacoby?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Regular.
And do they play? Does everybody in Croatia play with the cube, or do they play tabla?
No, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is a country near Croatia, they play tavla, which is a backgammon without the cube, but they are playing more and more backgammon as well. So
Yeah.
that's.
I'll tell you, without the cube, after you play with the cube, playing without the cube is a boring game in comparison.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that is
Okay,
true.
let's go to the next one. Good work
Okay.
on that. That was close.
Okay.
Another double to play. I have a saying about doubles. When you roll doubles, look for a great play and then look for a better one because you might well miss it. I missed this play. I blew this play. So let's see if you can do better than me.
Okay, so first do I know?
First, you're coming in with one.
Yeah. Okay.
You got
Now you
three
can
more.
maybe. Yeah. You can maybe. Yeah. Okay. And then. So is it how many pips? I don't see well.
7 pips before the roll. Blue is up 7 pips before
Okay,
the roll.
Blue is up 7 pips before the roll. Okay. Well, so we can enter and play 13-7, or we can. What else can we play? But so after the roll, we are up a little bit. So we can play enter and hit 13-7. Or we can even hit 5-3 and play maybe 23-21 because this checker is kind of trapped behind and we are leading in the race a little bit, so that also makes sense. So yeah, I'm not really sure about this one. So okay, can you try hitting on the 7 points? Yeah, that was my first candidate. Okay, and can you try hitting on the 3 and playing 23-21? Okay, so we are up 4 pips now, and okay, and if he dances? If he dances, well, I guess we do have a very strong cube. Yeah, we do have a very strong cube if he dances, and I'm not even sure. Yeah, I guess it's a take. I don't know. Maybe I slightly prefer this move, but I'm really not sure again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, your analysis is perfect. Again, you're looking at the 2 best plays, and I made the wrong play and hit off the 7, and you got the right play.
Yeah,
Switching play.
the main problem is that race is about even, when we are even leaning a little bit, and having that checker on 23, didn't really feel that nice, and we leave many return shots, 4s, 1s, so this leaves, ruins the structure a little bit. It's not as pure as before when we make the point, but less return shots, and this checker is not trapped on 23, so I think there are few benefits that make it
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
this
Correct.
you're not old enough to remember the game many years ago, 45 years ago, where they would have laughed at the switching plays because they McGrill and the Masters were preaching pure backgammon a lot
Uh,
more than they are today. The bots have shown us that you don't always play pure, and this is a clear example of a pure backgammon would be to keep your prime, keep your 5 point, and keep your points in order. But this is for all the reasons you said, it's clearly right to switch points.
yeah.
Very good.
It would be interesting if the if the spare from 6 point was on 13 point, and then I guess we would play the normal move. Yeah, just an idea, because I like to do many variations when I analyze certain positions. So yeah, I think it. Yeah. Okay. So we just play
Look at that! Look at that! Because you don't give up your
Yeah,
midpoint.
less return shots, and yeah. So now we just play
Also, the race is
and
worse for you.
the race is yeah, we are trailing a little bit now, so there isn't that much of a priority to step up, I guess. So yeah.
So you have more of a desire to play a priming game than a racing game or a blitzing game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a great catch to move that checker. And
Well,
that's really-
you should see me analyze positions. I try out like 10 variations at least. When I make a mistake in certain position, and when I'm trying to understand it, all factors involved, I make so many variations until I really think I nailed it and I can explain it to myself. So.
So Mislav, you said you're fluent in English and Italian.
Well, not Italian, not as much as English, but yeah, I do understand it. Yeah.
And of course Croatian is that the language of
Yeah,
Croatia?
Croatian is language in Croatia. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting some other thoughts here about another way you can make some good money is to become one of our teachers. I need teachers in other languages. Right now we got 9 languages covered, and I don't have Italian, Croatian, or covered. So maybe.
Yeah, I'm not that confident with Italian, but yeah. But yeah.
Well, think about becoming a teacher someday, because that's a great way. I think I've improved my game more as I teach than any other way.
I did teach some people, but it was more from time to time, and I did it mostly because they were my friends. Of course, didn't really ask them to pay anything or so.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than having your friends pay you too. Okay, let's go on to the next one. We got 2 more.
Sure.
This is red to play double 3.
Okay.
Money game again, cube in the center.
Okay, so red to play it, and it's 10 pips? Yeah, 10 pips.
10 pips, blue is winning by 10 pips before the roll.
Okay. So.
By the way, can you count pips quickly over the board? Have you got good
I do the colorless counting over the board, the basic version,
Great.
Yeah.
Rob Urquhart now
Yeah,
wrote an article
that's
on
by
that.
far
and,
my favorite method, but I also often do the running pip count difference from the very start of the game.
Have you seen our new video with the new way of doing colorless counting by?
Yeah, I saw it, and that's why I told you that I do the basic version, not the new one. And I saw the new one; it's very good also. Okay, so I mean, hitting on the 15, I guess, is a clear part. And now the dilemma would be whether to hit 6-3 or to play 13-10. Okay, can you? Yeah, thank you. And now the problem I'm with 6-3 is.
So you immediately ruled out making the 7 point?
Yeah, I don't like making the 7 point because we really want to escape that back checker. When you have the Pottle law, always run the last checker. So that was kind of automatic to me to just run the back checker.
What law is that?
Pottle law.
Oh, Sam Pottle's law.
Sam
Yes,
Pottle
Sam
law. So
Pottle's
always, just run
the back checker.
Always run the back checker. So yeah, let me see the 7 point. No, I think I would hit. But my bigger dilemma is whether to play 13-10 or 6-3 here. And since the cube is not turned, I think 13-10 actually gives us. Maybe it gives us a little bit more efficient cube if you play 13-10. Because if he plays 6-3, yeah, can you, yeah, can
If you play 6-3, he has.
no, after hitting 24-15.
Okay.
Yeah, and now playing 6-3. Yeah, the problem is if he hits us, then can we double? No, we don't have, we cannot double anymore. So yeah, I do think we have a more efficient double if he plays 13-10. He has less return shots because 5-3 and 6-3 don't hit. So
Okay, let's take a look at the answer.
yeah, I'm not sure about this part.
No, you did beautifully. You did
Okay.
beautifully. You came up with the right play. The
Okay.
right two options are the ones you
Okay.
discussed.
And
Making
maybe if the cube was turned, I would consider 6-3 a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe still not. I'm not sure. But maybe maybe if the cube was turned, but I don't know.
Let's turn the cube and take a look at it. I haven't
Because
tried that.
yeah, because it's all about cube efficiency. We just play 13-10, don't risk getting hit and send back again. So
Uh-huh.
so now 6-3 should be at least a little bit better, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, with the cube in the center, you're clearly right.
Yeah.
And
You
what he
just want
means
to
by
prepare
cube
the cube, yeah.
efficiency, let me explain cube
Mhm.
efficiency because we may have some beginners watching this. If you hit, and again, the play changed. It is right to hit, as you said,
Mhm.
if the cube was turned because you're not going to be doubling next time no matter what. You've already doubled,
Mhm.
so you hit because it wins a lot more gammons. But you get hit back immediately with any 3 or a double 1. So there's
Mhm.
12 numbers where you get hit back. But
Yeah,
if you
more
make
than-
the other play, let's put the cube in the center, and you make the correct play with the cube in the center, let's see what it looks like. You only get hit back if he enters and rolls a 3 or with a 4-6.
4-6, yeah.
So
After
there are
which-
fewer numbers that hit you, and if you don't get hit back, you probably have a cube here,
Mhm.
and in many cases you'll get a pass.
Yeah, it's a very strong cube, yeah.
Very strong cube. Very good. You're nailing them. You missed one so far, and it was a
Okay.
close one. So let's do the last one.
Okay.
And this is a cube action problem.
Okay.
And red is on roll. Should red double? And if red doubles, should blue take or pass?
Red is on roll, and should the red double? Wow. I mean, why would red be doubling here? I don't really understand it. Like, okay, just a second. Cube action. I mean, I really don't see why red would double here. I mean, how can we even use the market? I mean, if blue rolls something bad, then maybe only then we can consider. And I'm not sure if even then we have a cube. But at least if he leaves a double shot or something, I would consider it. And then he still has a take, I guess. So why would we double now? I would double after he rolls something bad and leaves a shot. Maybe double, I don't know. I would at least consider it, but here I really don't see any market losers. So, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right. And it was in the chouette, it went double and a long thought, and then it finally a take.
Oh,
And,
please don't tell me someone.
no, nobody dropped, nobody passed, but it was they really gave it some thought. But this was this was doubled, and one guy thought it was a beaver, and one guy thought it was might be a pass. So we had a big difference of opinion. Yeah, there's so many rolls that leave shots here.
Yeah, because if let's say blue leaves double shot, I mean it should still be a fairly easy take, right? Because we only get to hit a little bit over half the time.
Well, let's use the Mislav method of see what happens. Let's give red an average roll, and let's put blue on roll, and let's take a look at one of my favorite tools is dice distribution, and let's see how often blue leaves lots of shots here. And you're going to see that he's only got a few great rolls and a lot of really bad rolls. The 6-1 and 3-1.
It seems that only after 3-1 he has a pass, so all others are still a take. So that's the reason for not doubling right away.
You didn't lose. You only lose your market there.
You only lose only on 3-1, which is.
And if he rolls the good numbers, if he rolls the good numbers, who's going to get gammoned a lot here. Red
Well,
can
we are going to
gammoned a
get
bunch.
gammoned the tons here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
for sure.
great analysis. You've proven that you deserve to be a giant and playing so well. You also, I'll tell you something. Before I interview anybody that I don't know personally, and you and I have never met, I ask around a little bit, and what I find is I heard the best things about you from people saying he's really a nice guy, he's a good guy, he's great for the game, he's a good sport. That impresses me. I mean, there's lots of people out there who can play well.
Those people who say that. Okay, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you offline who said it, but I'm sure you know who who I talk to and my friends are, and they say this is a guy you should interview. He's really good for the game, and you're the only giant in Croatia. We don't have a lot of Croatian players. How many people are playing in Croatia? How many we got?
Believe it or not, we really don't have that many players. I mean, maybe only like 30 active players that come to like every tournament. So
are you doing anything to market the game in Croatia to try and grow the game?
I mean, not much really. I mean,
well, get to work. That's what federations are for. That's the number one thing I think federations need to do more of.
We should work on that.
Absolutely, and you can't. I know it's hard to do it by yourself with a small group. That's why we need an international federation. You've got the European Federation. By pooling resources and marketing, you can market all over Europe, and we need to get some more publicity for this game. It's a great game. It's the best there is. I don't have to sell you on it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your honesty.
Choosing me. Okay.
Yeah, and I can't wait to beat you at ping pong. I hope, because I beat Mochi in Crete.
I haven't
the only
played.
thing I can beat him at.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident you will beat me because I haven't played in so long. Yeah.
Good. Then the bet's now $30. I'll see you in Monte Carlo, I hope, and I'm sure I'll see you in other tournaments in the future.
Okay.
And when you're ready, let me know when you're ready to start doing some teaching, because we can use people who analyze the game as well as you do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.